everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a litter of 21-day-old AKC Bernese Mountain Dog puppies, and I brought them into town for their first socialization outing. And right now I have Elmer, and we just finished a few days of what we call early neurological stimulation, and now we're moving on to a more aggressive socialization protocol. And even at 3 weeks, they already have on collars, and I check those several times a day to make sure that they're not too tight, and I change them when they do get too tight. But at 3 weeks old already, we are clipping leashes on them just so they get used to the organic touch of the leash touching every part of their bodies. We don't leave it on, obviously. It's just for this socialization session that we do with them every day until they go home. Even the puppies that we keep for months that we are training, they get handled this way every day. All right, so like I said, I have Elmer, and every day we tug on his ears, open his eyeballs, check his mouth, and look at those teeth. He's already got, I don't know if my little cameraman can see those. He doesn't like it, Roll, but he's got teeth already. Elmer has some teeth. He'll get a big payoff here in a minute for this. So the next thing then that we do is we take a pen and we just tap around lightly on them, because as grown adults, they will be touched on every part of their body. And then we bop their little noses, good boy. And then we manipulate gently each toe. This comes in very handy when he gets to be 100 pounds and you need to clip those toenails. Good boy. Give his little tail a whirl, and then I pat him on my shoulder, up like this, tell him how much I love him. I hug him and I squeeze him. I also pinch and pull, just gently. All this is very gentle. Yeah. And then I cradle him in my arms like this. See how that leash is just touching him here, there, and everywhere? And then we make a loud noise. This is my checklist. Let's make sure that I've gotten everything right. Yep, I only have 2 things left, or 3 things actually. I drop the clipboard just to make a funny sound, and then I tip him upside down and give him a belly rub like this. Yes, he gets tipped upside down and he gets a belly rub, and then that's it for Elmer, except they always get a big payoff with some sweet vitamin paste for being so cooperative. Thank you. Yeah. Let's go do some more. And then, still part of the conditioning, we just wipe their little faces and their body with a damp washcloth. And that's Elmer. Hello again. I wanted to let you know that this is my litter that's 21 days old's first trip to town. They've been to the vet when they were a few days old for a well puppy check, but they haven't been anywhere. And I would like to tell you that we are enjoying a brevet at the Charge and Brew in Powell, Wyoming. They're very accommodating, and we appreciate that, and their coffee is excellent. Okay, so I have got Shaggy here, and at 21 days old already, we are getting him and his litter mates accustomed to being clipped to a leash. That's just so he gets familiar with something on his neck touching every part of his body. Of course, he's too young to be trained with a leash, but I micro train, and so everything I introduce the puppies to is very gradual, just baby steps. And we've advanced from early neurological stimulation to a expanded socialization protocol that just involves looking at his ears like I am here, because when he's 100 pounds and he's at the vet and he needs an ear check, if he's already accustomed to people manipulating his ears, we're already a step ahead. We bop his nose, we check his eyeballs, he's got beautiful, beautiful eyes, and then we check his mouth. He's got baby teeth, just very sweet. And they're not a big fan of that, but they get a big payoff when we're done here in just a couple of minutes. And then from there, I can pinch him, again, ever so gently, because we want him accustomed to people handling every part of his body. We give a little swirl and tug to his tail, pull on that collar. You are so adorable. And then we just gently, with a pin, tap around like that. Then we give him a random loud noise. And then we put him on my shoulder and hug him and squeeze him and tell him how much I love him. And then I cradle him in my arms like a human baby. Isn't that precious? Good boy, Shaggy. And then I put him on his back. I rub his tummy like that. We do this every day with every puppy that we have, even those that are staying in our training program for months get handled this way every day. And then the big payoff, I might have to get another tube out, is something sweet. There we go. Yeah, something sweet to eat. Good boy. Good boy. And then tomorrow, this litter will get introduced to their very first puppy cereal. Right now, we just feed them something that's a puppy vitamin, either from a puppy syringe or from our fingers. But you can see right now he's acclimating to licking and recognizing something other than his mama as food. All right. Then we just wipe his face off, wipe down his body with a gentle, cool, wet cloth. And that's Shaggy. So I'm back with Shaggy again because I remembered that I forgot to show you that we manipulate his toes too. So every day until he goes home, one of us here at AKC Bernese Mountain Dog Ranch will make sure he's comfortable with us touching and giving light pressure to his toes. The puppies get their toenails clipped once every week, but every day we go through the simulation with our hands, and he's good with it. He's a good sport. I am still at the Charge and Brew Coffee House in Powell, Wyoming, and I am giving, who do we have? Scooby here, just an advanced socialization protocol out in town. So the first thing I'm going to do, even at 21 days old, he's getting used to the leash, touching him and being attached to his collar. So I've attached his leash at 3 weeks old, and we'll do this kind of thing every day until he goes home. And then we manipulate his little toes, because when he's 100 pounds, it's going to be much easier to clip his toenails. We check his ears. He's got 2 of them. They seem to be in pretty good shape. Good boy. Good boy. Then we check his eyes. And we check his mouth. Looky there. He's got teeth. Good boy. He's looking for something good. We bop his nose. We give him gentle tugs on his skin everywhere. We kind of play with his tail. We want him used to every part of his body being touched. Then we take a pin, just poke and prod. You never know, he might be around some young children who don't have good dog handling manners, and you don't want him to be uncomfortable with his body being touched. Then I throw him over my shoulder and I give him a good pat, good squeeze and hug, tell him how much I love him. And I hold him like a baby, cradle him in my arms like that. Scooby's doing a good job. And then we put him on his belly. We give him a good belly rub. Yeah. Then take my clipboard here. I just make a random loud noise, get him used to his environment, having sounds that are unexpected. And then he gets a good payoff with a puppy vitamin paste that's sugary, kind of like molasses. He likes that. And then we just wipe him down and he's all done. He's looking for more of that paste, and that is Scooby. Velma is 21 days old today, 3 weeks. Her mama is Zippy and her daddy is the General. And today we brought her to the Charge and Brew in Powell, Wyoming, a little coffee shop here, to expand her socialization protocols. So this is her first time to town, other than a brief visit when she was 3 days old with our veterinarian. So I'm going to demonstrate how we handle the puppies, even the puppies that are left here to be trained with me for months. Every day they all get touched, poked and prodded the exact same way. And we just tug on their ears, look inside, feel them, massage them. So she'll go home familiar and comfortable and not reactive to people touching her ears. The same with her eyes. We look in her eyes like a vet would do, and then we bop her on the nose, and then we check her teeth and her mouth. We give her a little tug of the tail. We pinch her, poke her, prod her gently all over. And also, even though her nails only get trimmed once a week until she goes home, every day we put light pressure on every one of her little toes, keeping her conditioned to having her nails trimmed either by her new owners or by a groomer. Then we can take, your foot's not on the table. Say, Michelle, pay attention to what you're doing. We take an ink pen and we just poke around, because you just never know. She might run across a child with poor dog handling manners, and you don't want her reactive at all, or or concerned or stressed out or anything, which she's not. So she's done real good with all of that. Then I throw her over my shoulder like a sack of potatoes. I hug her and I squeeze her and I tell her how much I love Mama. And I hold her like a baby doll. Good girl. Then I put her on her back like she might go to bed. And I just give her a tummy rub. And then I throw this thing down for a loud random noise. We don't want her reactive to anything like that. We also clip collars on them at this age. Just getting them used, not collars. She's had a collar since the day she was born. A leash. We clip leashes on them. Just getting them used to a leash, touching every part of their body. And then, as a sweet payoff, she gets some puppy vitamins. And then tomorrow, we're gonna take a video of her and her litter mates eating puppy cereal for the first time. Because with those milk teeth, and her accustomed to taking sweet treats either from a syringe or from my finger, she's ready for some food besides Mama. And then last, we just wipe her down with a damp washcloth. And Velma is all done with her socialization handling for today. All right, so now it is Ginger's turn to go through her advanced socialization daily handling protocol. And that just involves loving on her a little bit, really. So we bop her on the nose every day until she goes home. We give gentle tugs and pulls and look in her ears every day. We check her eyes every day. And then, let's see if there's milk teeth in there. There's milk teeth in her mouth. She's growing up. Good girl. Good girl, Ginger. And every day until she goes home, she'll get a leash attached to her collar. And we'll take an ink pen and gently poke around on her everywhere. Give a gentle tug to her tail, twist it around. Gentle tugs on her skin and her fur everywhere. She's doing great. She's doing so good. And then I throw her over my shoulder. Tell her I love her. Pat her, squeeze her. Cradle her like a human baby doll. You know, she's doing good. And then I lay her on her belly and just give her a belly rub. This teaches them to be calm on their back. Let's say they need to be on a vet's table and have an examination when they get older. There she is. She's doing great. And then throw my clipboard down for a loud random noise. We don't want her reactive when an environmental noise is unexpected and she hears it. And we just put light pressure on every one of her toes every day until she goes home. So she'll be used to having her feet handled by a groomer or by her new owners for nail trimmings. Good girl. And then, drum roll, she gets her favorite part, a treat. Tomorrow she gets some puppy cereal for the first time. But this litter really does like that vitamin paste. And then you can see she got it on her nose. So the last thing we do is we just wipe her down all over with a damp washcloth. Good girl. All good. And that's our Ginger. It is Bug's turn to go through his advanced socialization protocols, and he is part of Zippy and the General's litter that are 21 days old today. So we've come into Powell, Wyoming to Brew and Charge coffee shop. I think it's actually Charge and Brew. I want to say a thank you and get their name right. Oh, big yawn. Right on cue. Okay, so every day until Bugs goes home, he will be conditioned with a leash on his collar, and we will manipulate each one of his toes by putting light pressure. Even though he does get his nails trimmed once a week, every day in between those trimmings, we just put light pressure on each one. Then we will look at his ears. They look good to me. And his eyes, they look good too. Bop him on the nose. He's hungry. He knows a treat's coming. Show off those teeth, look in his mouth. Good job. Manipulate his tail. Do light pinches and tugs on his skin and his fur. Gently tap him with an ink pen. He's looking for that treat. Not yet, bud. Not yet, but soon. Then we rub him on our shoulder. Yeah. Then we cradle him like a baby. Yeah. Every day. Every day we love on him. And then I put him on his back. And I rub his tummy. Yeah. And then we just take a random object. Today it's my clipboard. And we toss it on the ground so that no environmental noises will startle him. And now for his big payoff. He gets what's left of our puppy vitamin paste. Look at that. He's going to be really happy tomorrow when he gets his first taste of puppy cereal. Yeah. And then last, we just wipe his face and his body. And that is Bugs.